Hi everybody, and welcome to Bob's O-Gauge Trains. Bob here. Today we have a different kind of video I'm going to be showing you. I have a couple of subscribers that are into various gauges like myself as well. On a personal note, I have H.O. Lionel from the 1960s. I got when I was a little kid and I first got into trains. From there, believe it or not, I got into N-scale. My dad bought me some N-scale stuff, a lot of mini tricks. Back then, they were actually called postage stamp trains because they're so small. But for small models, they're highly detailed and really nice. My main interest, of course, is all the O-gauge. I love O-gauge trains. And I also have two small sets of standard gauge tinplate. They came as Christmas starter sets, and I actually combined them so I can create a lash up and double head them. And I have 8 or 9 passenger cars behind them going around the room. So I have 4 different gauges of trains. I'm very lucky that I have them all. But today's video is going to be mainly about the N-scale. All of the N-scale locomotives I have are mostly mini tricks. I do have some by a company called Fleischmann's. I have all kind of railroads. I have Pennsylvania Railroad, Penn Central, Santa Fe. I have the Orient Express. I have some Conrail. I have a Penn CK4. So I have a nice mixture of N-scale stuff. It's a small layout. It's only 4x6. But it's enough. I mean, you could do a lot with 1 or 2 sheets of plywood in N-scale. So I do have 3 mainline loops. They are independent. I don't have any switches. Everything's very basic. And my scene is very easy. It's basically a barn scene with a farmhouse and some animals and some crops and a couple silos. And I have them powered by 3 individual transformers for all 3 tracks. And we have some street lights and trees and rocks and details and kind of all the same stuff we have in O-gauge, except in a much smaller scale. So I hope you enjoy today's version of Bob's O-Gauge Trains, special edition, N-gauge trains. Like I said, I do have some followers and some friends that are into N-gauge, and they asked me if I'd do a video, and I try to please everybody. So today's video is going to be mainly about N-scale, and we're going to get to that in a minute. At the very end of the video, I will come back to O-gauge, though, and briefly show you what I picked up earlier this week. It was announced, I don't know, a week or 2 ago by Menards, and I had to get one right away. Right back there, I have the brand new Menards lift bridge I recently installed over the last day or 2. I had to rip up some track, and I added the lift bridge into loop number 1. So it's in the back and it's fully operational. We'll be showing that a little bit later. I had to pull the track and reballast and move some stuff around here and there and remove some trees. But it looks really good, and Menards, once again, hit a home run. They really do have a great product line out there. So sit back and enjoy. For now, we're going to go to Bob's O-Gauge Special Edition N-gauge trains. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I figured here would be a good place to start. The layout itself, the main line, is, like I said, 4x6. There are no switches. I just made it very simple. It has 3 main lines. Currently, on the outside loop, I have 4 Pennsylvania Railroad F3s, pulling a couple head-end cars and some passenger cars. On the second loop, the middle track, I have 3 German steam locomotives with an electric pulling the Orient Express. There are 3, 6, 9 or 10 cars on the Orient Express. And on the inside loop, I have 3 Penn Central ABAs pulling a Penn Central freight train. As far as the town itself, it's very simple. There's not really much there, but I didn't want to overcrowd it. I wanted to make it very peaceful and very small. I didn't want to put too much in there and have it all clogged up. On the very far left, I have a yellow farmhouse with a couple cars parked out front. Then towards the center, we have a small orchard with some trees planted. And then, of course, to the right, we have a red barn with a white fence around it, and we have some cows and some animals inside. Just some rock formations here and there. If you look closely on the outside, there's a couple stray deer roaming around. And I do have some street lights. And believe it or not, I have 2 cars that actually have lit headlights and tail lights on the inside of the layout. One is a green car with a white roof, and I believe the other one is a black police car. I just kept it simple. And on the inside of the inside loop, I just have 2 pieces of straight track that I have some steamers parked in there for storage. It's not connected anywhere. I just kind of have them parked there for storage because I didn't have anywhere else to put them. Down in here, we have all kind of freight cars, passenger cars, extra locomotives, cabooses, the 3 transformers for the 3 main lines. Up to here, we have the main part of the N-gauge layout. On the very back of it, of course, there's a poster of my all-time favorite steam locomotive, Chesapeake and Ohio 614. I have it basically taped to the back of an old-fashioned radio. And then if you look way past that, towards the back, of course, there's the O-gauge layout. But tonight we're going to be focusing on the N-scale layout. Most of my motive power is mini tricks with a couple Fleischmann's. So I hope you all enjoy as we run some N-scale. All of this is conventional. There's no DCC, no sound, no smoke. It's all conventional because all of this stuff is quite old. Most of this stuff was from the 60s and early 70s, I believe. And back then we really didn't have anything other than an O-gauge, the famous Lionel steam locomotive air whistle. That's about all we had. So as far as the N-scale, they have no sound or smoke, but they're still beautiful in their own right. They're very nicely detailed. The only drawback, like I said, is they're a little small, and sometimes the eyes aren't what they used to be, and it's a little hard getting on and off the track. But it works. It's still fun, and it's still trains. So I hope you enjoy a little display of my N-gauge collection. Here's a good view of the country farm scene I have built. Like I said, right in here we have a yellow farmhouse. To the back of that we have some orchard trees. And to the back of that we have the red barn with some cows and some farm animals. I have 2 silos in the front. I kept it simple, just a country scene with some trees and crops and a little farm scene. And I like the way it came out. It was a little bit of a project. The track itself is all Kato. Kato has some of the best track around. It all snaps together. It has the lock-on actually underneath the track where you replace one of the pins that connect the track, and the wire goes underneath the track so you don't have any wires hanging out from like lock-ons and stuff. So all of the track that you see here is made by a company called Kato. Most of the trains are mini tricks with a couple Fleischmann's. But that's about it. 95% is all mini tricks, and it was a company many, many years ago. So I hope you all enjoy. Let's get to the trains. Here we go. I switched up a couple trains on the N-gauge layout. On the outer loop, believe it or not, I have a Pennsylvania decapod followed by 2 U-boats, a couple head-end cars, and 8 passenger cars after it. Then from there we get into the middle loop, track 2. Everybody that's into model railroading has definitely heard of the Santa Fe war bonnets. This is an ABA unit. All 3 units are actually powered, including the B unit. So we have 3 powered units pulling, I believe, 7 cars. But anybody that knows anything about model railroading, everybody has heard about the famous Santa Fe war bonnets. And this is my track number 2. Santa Fe pulling a long string of passenger cars. And this is a very unique train. This is a triple-headed steam locomotive. All three engines are 060. The rear engine is the Santa Fe. The middle engine is the Baltimore and Ohio. And the original first engine is called Apache Railroad. It's a wood burner. Notice the front pilot and the balloon stack. It's really a nice looking locomotive. And all three are actually pulling pretty well. They run good at low and high speeds. So here we go on these guys. And in the poll that I originally raised as to whether people would like to see an N-gauge video, 70% did say yes, and 30% really didn't express too much interest in N. They wanted to stick with O. So this will conclude the N-scale part of the video. I hope you've all enjoyed. Like I said, these are very old trains. They didn't come with DCC, remote control, sound, or any of the modern conveniences that we have in all of our trains now. But when they were put out, these were the best things going, and 50, 60 years later, they all still run. So I'm very happy with them. But I did get a little surprise on the O-gauge layout. All week here and there I've been doing a little changing on the inside loop of my 4-main line. And I'm going to show everybody what I've been working on, so you will get a little bit of O-gauge to wrap up this week's video. This is my newest addition to the O-gauge layout. It's on the inner loop of the 4-track main. This is a lift bridge made by Menards. It just was released about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Full retail on this bridge was about $130. I got it about a week or so ago, and I've been kind of playing around trying to pull up some track and add it to the layout. It's not quite finished yet. Generally, lift bridges lift up so a boat can go underneath and hold up the train. I don't have any water near this bridge yet, but I'm working on changing a couple things around, and I'm going to make that happen. But for now, this is good the way it is. On the very far left, I just have it braced up a little bit because certain parts still are drying in place. But this is on the inside loop, track number 4. This is the Menards bridge. It has 2 towers. It is a lift bridge, but the lift operation does not work. The chains that you see in between the 2 towers are there basically for show, but it does not lift the bridge up and down. But either way, for the price you're getting and what you're getting, it comes pre-weathered. It's a really nice bridge. The floor of the bridge is metal, and it'll hold a very strong train going across the gorge if that's how you set it up. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed today's special video. Eventually, somewhere down the road, I will get to the standard gauge and the HO, but of course this is an O-gauge channel, so I'll concentrate primarily on O-gauge trains because that's what most of you guys are interested in, and myself as well. But it was kind of nice because, like I did say, I had some friends that do subscribe to the channel. They asked about the N-gauge, so it was a lot of fun to run. We had the Orient Express train running. We had 4 powered Pennsylvania F3s with headlights. We had Penn Central running. We had some Santa Fe running. I had the Pennsy U-boats. So my N-gauge collection is not the largest, but it's not the smallest either. So I hope you did enjoy today's video. As usual, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time to sit down and watch some trains with me. I hope you all enjoyed. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss anything in the future. And if you like what you saw, please leave a thumbs up. I do appreciate each and every one of them. And if you have any comments, questions, anything, feel free. I answer every comment, and I enjoy hearing from all of you. So everybody stay safe, be well, and take care. Thanks for stopping by.